No man should ever enter where we are going. Beware what lurks in the depths of the libtard zone.
Number 10.
So much negativity in the world going on right now when it comes to the acronym LGBTQIA, right? Children need to hear that encouragement. Children need to...
Children need to hear that encouragement, because if they don't hear this encouragement from me, then they're not going to get it at home. They need to understand that me dressing up as a woman is pretty good. So, you guys will make sure you tell your teach your children well, okay, or something.
Hear that they matter. Children need to hear that everything in their life isn't negative. And it's just an opportunity to push them to be better adults and push them to be more inclusive of everything that goes on around them.
No! How about now? I do not need to teach my kids how to be more inclusive by bringing over Fred in the gown here. No! I want to teach my kids baseball. I want to teach the girls how to swim, where Ashley's got them riding horseback. One of the things that's not on the list is, hey, let's take the kids over to see Fred's House of Drag. Never. Never. We're never playing that. These people are sick.
Is the acceptable racism that we can say whatever, we can call cis people trans.
Hey, man, I can't understand your language. What the hell is cis? I think one of the things we need to do as a society, we can start it with MAGA. We need to start putting down the list of things we are no longer going to talk. We are not going to say cis. We are not going to say undocumented. We are not going to have safe spaces. We're going to stop using the word attacked. No, we're going to dial it back to like before Obama, and the words in the dictionary back then is what we're going to use now. I don't know what the hell is cis mean. Boy, girl, that's it. Cis.
That's okay. And neither of you are upset about that. That is completely ridiculous.
You know what? You want to know why they're not upset by it? Same reason I'm not upset by it. You're bonkers. You're crazy. You want to hang out with Frederica in a gown and talk to kids? You go do that. You do you. But we're supposed to be upset? By the way, how is trans a race? How did they leap from a sexual proclivity to now it being as important as the color of somebody's skin? I'm pretty sure when Martin Luther King was talking, and he's like, I want my children not to be looked at by, the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And there was no asterisk that says if Johnny wants to wear a dress.
All right. What?
That's what Stephen Miller said, and neither of you care.
Neither one of us are defending Steve. No. Like, we're not
embracing that. To a whole other issue.
We're talking
that
about
was the most offensive thing that Stephen Miller said. But no, we were talking about Stephen Miller, and the most offensive thing that was said was that calling a cis person trans, so that is a horrible thing to be. That is disgusting. That is.
I can think of a lot of things that are disgusting. Brussels sprouts, looking at Rosie O'Donnell and imagining her naked. Talking about cis? I don't even know what you're talking about. When I think cis, I think sister. What the hell is CIS? And why would that be so disgusting?
Completely unacceptable in 2026. And why he would say that on television and it's okay is mind-boggling.
All right, we will leave it there. Next for us, the president.
Here, I have a question. In 2026, saying cis, trans, whatever is disgusting. Brussels sprouts for me has been disgusting all my life. How did we all of a sudden the calendar turn and now all of a sudden it's disgusting to say a word that we don't even know what it means? You're not supposed to say cis, trans, whatever that is. You're not supposed to say illegal. You got to say undocumented. They took it all from us. They made us go into corners and get deleted if we said the wrong words. Now I think it's time for us to start saying, you offend me. I'm offended by what you're offended about. I don't care that you're offended that Stephen Miller used the word. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Number 9.
And, you know, frankly, Mr. Plattner.
Okay, now in this little section here, we're going to go down the Graham Plattner, obfuscation alley, where you got to swallow real quick before you even answer the question.
It's a four-tour combat veteran and someone whose conduct as he came home from war, many have questioned. I don't know him and don't know him at all well, but I'm going to give him a measure of grace.
I'm sorry. You're going to give this guy a measure of grace who's walking around with a giant Nancy tattoo on his chest. You're going to give him some grace. The guy who was nominated to go to the Supreme Court, you wanted to just run him out on a rail, but you want to give the Nazi some grace. Says a lot about you. Says so much about you, it tells me I know you're only in it for power. So what you're going to hear in a couple of these people saying, like him, I don't really know him. They decide they want to turn into Peter. The next day, I don't know him. I don't know. I don't know him. I have to take a look at it eventually. Who the hell doesn't know what Graham Plattner is right now? And why is it that your people in government are like, I don't know who he is? You wouldn't think by now you would know who Graham Plattner is? You wouldn't think by now you wouldn't have looked it up? I don't know nothing.
And wait until I get a chance to hear more about the details of all these different allegations. In my view, the folks who we have here in the Senate and who we might have here in the Senate, we should hold a high standards.
Aren't you worried about more coming out?
Oh, you're going to love this. This is like 10 seconds, but you got to listen. They're asking her. They're like, hey, man, there's all kinds of stuff coming out about Graham Plattner. See if she even, typical Elizabeth Warren.
His past that could damage his chances.
What I'm worried about is another day of war in Iran.
Are these accusations disturbing to you?
What is disturbing to me is what's happening in this economy and how right now the Republicans just sign off on it.
You had two opportunities to answer a question about Graham Plattner, and somehow you just decided to turn it completely around. You want to just run from it. You want to run from a guy who's running for the Senate in Maine. You don't even want to say his name. You don't even want to talk about him. Oh, what I'm disturbed about. You're not disturbed by Nazis anymore. Oh.
The Democrats abandoned Graham Plattner after these messages came out, these sexually explicit messages they sent to women.
I haven't waded into that primary.
What hasn't this woman waded into? She has waded into WADED. She has waded into everything. But this, I got nothing to say about it. I don't even know. I never heard of him. Don't know.
I believe the primary has occurred yet. So I would kind of, again, I don't wade in on that. I haven't waded in that race.
Before we go, Senator, I have to ask you about embattled Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner. He met with Democrats in D.C. yesterday. Will you endorse his campaign?
I know that he is out and he is campaigning on kitchen.
I didn't realize it was a confusing question. He goes on for about 30 seconds here, but you have to remember the question. Senator Markley, whatever your name is, Ed, are you going to endorse the Nazi?
Table issues. I know that he is opposed to this slush fund, which Donald Trump is putting together. He's putting affordability front and center for the voters of Maine to decide this race. And I think that he has the right issues to be focusing upon.
Did you see the guy from CNN's face? Seriously, bro? Did you just go there? See, you guys may look away from Nazis, but everybody who knows what a Nazi is, who happens to be a different color, a different religion, they know what that means. And so when the guy from CNN, seriously, man, That's it?
This year in Maine, as I am doing, and I think other people who are really concerned about the direction our country is going in right now.
It sounds like he has your support, Senator.
Well, I am convinced that he is running on all of the right issues for our country right now.
So why not say that you endorse him?
3 times. You want to tell us all? You're sitting right here. Do you endorse him? No, this guy is kryptonite. I don't want nothing to do with him. But at the same time, I can't tell people. So you're a liar.
But in my opinion,
spit it out. Do you endorse him or not? Do you endorse the Nazi abuser? Well, I think he's doing well.
He has taken the issues and he's galvanized a grassroots movement all across Maine. People are responding at the town meetings. They are up. They are energized. And in my opinion, he is on a pathway to victory in the state of Maine.
Meanwhile.
But he didn't answer the question. Now, I had to delete the F-bombs here because here comes Mr. Crazy again. And he's actually going to tell you what this is all about with the Nazi. Make no bones about it. He's going to tell you right now why they don't care about the Nazi.
I don't care. If you committed a crime, then charge him and then throw his ass in jail. But so far, we have none of that. We got a f***ed-up guy who he could be 100 times more f***ed up than he is. He'd never be as f***ed up as what we got in Washington now anyway. And I just saw all this tut-tut and ooh, and hey, we got to do this and we got to be fair. James, if a Republican did what Graham Platten did, you would be outraged. Yeah, I would. But what I'm more outraged about and what I have to consider first is this country is about to lose it. The whole damn thing. Abraham Lincoln suspended habeas corpus. Why? Because he had to win a damn war. Okay, we got to win this. And if we got a person who's understandably got issues, yeah, good. And maybe people ought to see it. And maybe we ought to just be reminded of what these stupid wars have brought about in the consequence of said stupid wars. That stupid Susan Collins been for all of her political life. So I ask all of you to consider the candidacy of Graham Platten. I ask all of you to understand his flaws and understand the peril that this nation is in. And maybe he might be the right guy at the right time, for all I know. Thank you.
There it is. You don't have to hear anything else on the news. They don't care. Just win. Just give us power. Yes, he's a Nazi. Yeah, he might have abused women. Yeah, he might have sent out weenie pics. It doesn't matter. We got to beat Susan Collins. We need that Senate seat. Nothing else matters. Yeah, he's got flaws. He's got more than flaws. That's a euphemism. I'm waiting for it. I think it's coming. I think we're going to find out he sent weenie pics to underage girls. I think that's the next shoe to drop. Right now, they're holding off. They're holding it as best they can. Okay, we got to vote for him. But when that drops, if it comes out that he was sending weenie pics to underage girls, let's see what these people do then. Some of these people in Maine are like, yeah, he's bad, but he's our bad. Yeah, he's a Nazi, but he's not like a bad Nazi. Trump's the bad Nazi. We're in a bad way. And all this is exposing is that we are at war. It is indeed maximum warfare everywhere all the time. They are treating it that way. They're willing to put in, yeah, let's vote for this guy. They don't care. At what point do Republicans stop caring and just go for the throat? At what point do we have to get people to understand this ain't your old days? This is a new thing altogether. We've got to fight. If we don't fight, and I mean truly fight, I mean not get chased around by teens that want to invade your party. That's not going to stop. They're going to keep kicking in doors and running through your picnic and everything. And only one way it's going to stop. Only one way all of this is going to stop. No more churning of the cheek. Unless somebody punches you and your head flips, you're going to have to stand strong. It disgusts me what happened today at that picnic. It was a church picnic. And the knuckleheads came running through a church picnic. And I thought to myself, where were the men? Why were the men not throwing hands? Oh, it's a church thing. You know, we can't be like that. Bullshit. Don't wake up in November and go, I didn't know we had to fight.
Number 8.
So we really need to take this country back. It's not just abolishing ICE, it's reducing Customs and Border Patrol from the 100-mile jurisdiction to just 10. They are there for a specific purpose, not more. My first act in Congress will be to ensure that we have truth and reconciliation commissions. I want to unmask these ICE agents. I want them named, and I want victim compensation for what they have done for the survivors and those who did not survive, to honor their families and make sure that they have citizenship in our country.
She wants to pay illegals for what ICE has done by deporting them. Take your money. They're worried about the 1.7 billion. You ain't seen nothing yet. You haven't seen anything compared to what they want to do. She just said it. Once I'm elected, we're going to go ahead and, basically pay people who aren't supposed to be here because of the trauma. And we're going to steal as many elections as possible. SV sent me something. This is crazy. Here you go. Here it's coming. Says now, Nityaha, whatever her name is, Rahman, defeats Spencer Pratt after late mail-in ballots surge her ahead 5 days after the election day. 5 days. Now she is projected to be number 2. 5 days. Five days. It took them 5 days to push her up to the top and boot out Spencer Pratt. No, there's no fraud. There's no evidence. Mr. President, where's the evidence? You guys got to see what's happening.
Number 7.
Both me and my staff have personally had to help trans queer youth in this county who are facing bullying and discrimination in Arlington Public Schools. Last week, my son at Campbell got the sex ed talk in health class and was told children only can come from men and women. No queer representation, no IVF representation.
What? I'm sorry. Your kid got told that babies come from men and women. And your point is what?
Came home crying. Last year, I had to help a trans adolescent transfer out of Yorktown due to discrimination that the school was choosing not to face.
Oh, they're coming for your kids. Oh, I'm so upset. What's wrong? What's wrong, little Johnny? Or Juanita, or whatever you're calling yourself today. Well, mommy, today, or daddy, or non-gestational people, they said that babies only come from men and women. Mommy, non-gestational people, what's a woman? You see how we're hurtling towards a place we don't want to get to? We can't even have the statement. What does a kid call his mom, who you can't call him a mom because she's gestational, non-gestational? When she has her, menopause, are they both non-gestational at that point? That's my non-gestational sperm donor, and this is my non-gestational former womb housing. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Yeah, but my womb houser, because that's where I hung out for like 9 months. She's not a mommy. She's now she's non-gestational. She's a grand non-gestational. Because, now I can't even comprehend what they're doing to kids with all these words. You can't even keep up.
Number 6.
Most undocumented immigrants pay more taxes than anyone, and we should...
I bet you Elon Musk would have a problem with that. And I ain't even talking about myself and you guys. And illegal people pay more taxes than anybody. Really? Really?
Also mentioned that less than they're 5 times less likely to commit crimes than Americans.
Number one, I don't know where you got that stat. Number two, we shouldn't have to have those comparable stats. You're not supposed to be here. I don't care if you're 5 times, 2 times, or 1 time. That should be 0. See, people are clapping. I'm like, wait a second. You're comparing something to people who are here. They're not supposed to be here. Ergo, that should be a big goose egg. There should be no crimes. Nothing. Why? Because they're not here. They're ghosts. Now make that statement.
Number 5.
What do you say to people who say language, and there's Democrats in D.C. who say language like abolish ICE or unhelpful for the political health of the...
So now they want to do away with, ICE, but they want, I can't even keep up. Mr. Jerry Curl here said, what do you think about people who don't want to say abolish ICE? Now you're going to force them to say abolish...
Democratic Party.
I think if we've listened to them before and look where we are. I think it's time to develop a new vision for this party, one that is unflinching in its beliefs and also uncompromising in its principles.
I can't explain it. I'm sorry. I can't explain what the hell he just said, other than to say they're still moving forward to destroy your way of life.
Number 4.
View, there's nothing credible at this point.
My view is that even according to the New York Times piece, they said there was no harm, no injury, there was toxicity, and there was...
This is a word salad. There was no harm, but it was toxicity. So he had some masculine, toxic masculinity. I don't know about you, but the definition of toxic, if I were to eat a toxic piece of food or drink something toxic, it definitely causes harm. So now you're saying toxic masculinity, that was before, not now.
Verbal intimidation, which I condemn, but Graham has made it clear that there was no evidence of violence. That to me is a red line.
No evidence. No evidence. What do you consider evidence? The woman came out and said, this is what he did to me. Many women came out and said, this is what he did to me. This is the same guy, and this is why this one's so important. This is the same guy who stood up there with Thomas Massey and said, we got to, basically protect all these Epstein victims. These Epstein victims who won't say anything, but something happened to them. You got to believe them, but not the Nazi abuse women. How interesting is that? The same exact guy has had many speeches with those so-called Epstein victims behind him saying we got to listen to them, but now don't listen to the Graham Plattner women. Because why? Oh, yeah, because we need the votes.
Number 3.
They want to come to the cookout, but then they want to lock all the black and brown people up in a concentration camp at the cookout. They want to be cruel. They want to hurt people. They want to see people get hurt. They actually, like Trump, I think that's what they have in common with him. They enjoy the violence.
Yeah, me personally, when I invite people to a picnic or something and come on over to the house, neighbors, friends, whatever, I'm actually looking for some version of the Hunger Games. I'm looking to see, how can I kill some of the black and brown people? Right, let's go ahead and strap, something to them so that the drone can follow them and zap them on their way home. Haven't you guys all played that? Or having you invited them over and say, yeah, take out the garbage. Or even worse, wash the dishes. Go walk my dog. I gave you a hamburger. Now I need you to step and fetch it. They say this stuff to people because it works. In case you haven't been paying attention, propaganda absolutely works. So now she's saying, we all want to have black and brown people show up to the concert to perform for us like minstrels, but we want to actually hurt them.
enjoy seeing people mass incarcerated. They enjoy seeing the arepa lady being thrown to the ground on the street. They want mass deportation, but they also want affection from us. They want our...
I can tell you with completely unequivocal that every person watching this show and every person who will watch it later on replay will not be looking for any affection from Joy Reid. Nope, not gonna happen, honey.
To love them and include them. They want all the stars to show up for America 250. They want all their favorite Black celebrities to sing and dance for them, but they hate Black people and they hate brown people. But please play baseball for us and entertain us.
You know, it's funny because you guys, I play my libtard zones, and some people say, Perry, you're torturing me. Only reason I play this stuff, the only reason I want you to hear it is because this is what they're telling their audiences. They're saying that you want to hurt Black and brown people. They're saying that you want to take advantage of Black and brown people. The only reason to even listen to this charlatan say anything out of her pie hole is so that you know when you go to work or you're at the golf course or you're someplace, someone's listened to her. Someone has allowed that toxic language to go in, and they think that you and MAGA are nothing but maggots and want to hurt Black people. They believe it. They 100% believe it, and that's why she says it. If you don't realize the propaganda campaign being used against you, then you are defenseless to it. You may wonder why somebody beats up your kid or beats up your wife or whatever. And you're like, what happened? Well, the simple reason is they hate you because they think you hate them. It's that simple. A lot of the stuff that's happening with this Carmelo Anthony stuff, I posted a video on X. We're gonna take care of our own. Who's your own? Black people. No matter what, they're feeling at this point it's an us against them mentality, which I guess is me. I'm with them, but I must be brainwashed because I got a white wife or something. I'm not. I need to go to the concentration camp. I got to be deprogrammed. I got to tell Robin she got to cut her hair and please never do that, honey. I don't even know. I don't even know what the hell that is. And she's like, please don't do that, honey.
They want to go to the World Cup and see Black and brown athletes, kick the soccer ball down the field, but they hate Black and brown people. I don't understand the psychology of it at all.
And they don't. Here's the psychology of it. You're a liar. There it is right there. Now, that's not to say that there are racists on both sides. Don't give me that crap. Black people can't be racist. Oh, hell yeah, you can. But you're never going to eradicate that. It's never going to go down to zero. There are people who just don't like you because of who you are. Period. That's not this big chart. That's not who we are. I hate racism on either side. I don't want to associate with racist. But see, they've taken that word and bent it and everything else to put it over everything. Just smear it on our face. You like Trump? You're a racist. That's it.
Number 2.
Hey, I'm Rachel. I did not pay my federal income tax last year, and I'm not planning on paying it this year.
All right, so I posted this on X. I'm like, people aren't going to believe this. This is the degree of TDS. At this point, the American Medical Association needs to go ahead and classify a new disease. Trump derangement syndrome is most assuredly a disease, and it is infecting, for the most part, white liberal women, to the point where she would post something this stupid in public.
Or while Trump is in office and while ICE is still disappearing people off the streets, especially because right now I'm an independent contractor. So I am literally cutting the government a check to disappear my neighbors and engage in illegal wars. So I thought to myself, am I going to cut that check? And I decided no. I also decided that I was going to talk about that decision online. And if you haven't seen me before, there's highlights or playlists depending on what form of social media you're on. So you can get more info, but I've promised that I will keep people updated, that I'll be documenting for my own posterity. And I haven't posted a lot of updates because I hadn't heard anything. But I just got my first notice, which is dated June 8th, though I did receive it on June 4th. And it just says, our records show you filed your 2025 Form 1040 with an amount owed. And then it tells me what I continue to owe. I decided to file because number one, I wanted to pay my state taxes. And number two, the penalties accrue way slower if you file and don't pay than if you fail to file. There's information about pay over time. There's information about where I need to go and pay. It also came with this little Your Rights as a Taxpayer document. When I filed, I owed $8,830. Right now I owe $9,283. The document that shows calculation doesn't have any of my personal information on it. And I was definitely curious about what this would look like. So here you go. Basically, I have a penalty for failure to pay, which maxes out at 25% of the tax shown on the return. And that accrues quite slowly, 0.5%, $88.30 penalty. And then I also have a penalty for failure to pay proper estimated tax. And they charge interest on that at a rate of 7%. This money is sitting in a high yield savings account that accrues interest at about 4%. And this also extends into 2026 because I, as a 1099 employee, am required to pay estimated tax. So I have to pay that tax estimated quarterly. I have done that to the state of Illinois back in April and will do so again in July. I have not done that for the federal government because, again, they're, sending my neighbors to concentration camps with my tax dollars. Feds and other viewers, I am not encouraging other people to engage in this behavior, but there's...
I am. I would like every libtard who sees this, if you've stumbled upon my show, I fully endorse every single one of you, especially within the next couple of years, to do exactly what she's doing. I think it would be in your best interest to make videos and tell the United States government that you're giving them the middle finger. I'm pretty sure nothing's going to happen to you. I think you're going to be fine. So yes, I am encouraging every libnut to follow what she's saying and do exactly what she's saying. Please. And by the way, if there are some people from, who ain't supposed to be here, I encourage you to do the same thing. Love to see what happens. You know what? Maybe this is how the revolution for no income tax begins. Maybe if millions of libtards stop paying taxes, they'll be so busy trying to chase them, we won't have to pay taxes. So I encourage you, please, every single one of you libtards that are working, please do this.
Long history of American tax resistance, particularly in response to unjust wars, and I remain very inspired by the people who engaged in tax resistance during the Vietnam War. This is all explained in full in other videos, but there are potential criminal liabilities in relation to deliberately not paying your taxes. Coming onto the internet and saying that you are not paying your taxes intentionally makes it a lot easier for the government to obtain a conviction if they decide to bring those criminal charges, which they do very rarely. And it's an additional risk that felt worth it to me given my platform. If you're coming in and saying, but what about social services? I think we view reality very differently in this moment, and you should, think a little bigger about what happens if a bunch of people actually don't pay their taxes to the point that it would have an issue on social services, because there's almost certainly in that hypothetical some intervening steps before Social Security goes away. And that's your update. I will continue to keep y'all appraised of what I hear, and fuck Donald Trump.
Yeah. TDS is real. I'm not going to pay my taxes, and then I'm going to make a video, tell everybody I'm not going to pay my taxes, and I'm going to say F Trump at the same time. And I've already had $1,000 in fees accrue. Go for it. Please, all of you, go for it. Oh, make it easy on us. So, I didn't believe that until I saw it myself.
Number 1.
Can men menstruate? Can you explain to this body, as I remember the debate?
You're going to love this one. Can you explain to me, can men menstruate? There's nowhere in the room you're going to look where you need to find out what that answer is. Every single guy or non-gestating person that you look at can answer that question. I can answer that. I'm pretty sure I can answer that question real quick. I can answer that question in one note. Watch her.
Was the difference between a woman or a person or individual who menstruates? Can you explain what the difference is? And I'm on a 3-minute timer, so please.
There are individuals who may not identify as women who may menstruate.
So it's just simply an individual that doesn't identify can do this. Can men menstruate?
I didn't get the question.
Yeah. Oh, honey, I'm pretty sure when you were 12 or 13, something happened with you that didn't happen with your brother or some of the other guys in the school. And you were like, what's different about me? I don't know what's going on down there. And the guys were like, oh, what's going on? I don't know. Does this happen to you? No, doesn't happen to me. Never? Nope, never. Dad? Non-gestating parent? Nope. No. Only us. Yes, only you. That's how God made you. It's not a difficult question. Every 13-year-old girl can answer this question. And here you are in Congress or some department of government, and you're stumped. This is a tough one. Can I call a lifeline?
Can men menstruate?
No editing. This was straight. She's dumbfounded. She's dumbfounded because she knows their entire worldview is falling apart right in front of her eyes because she's stuck. And the whole movement is stuck. It only can exist by making you believe stuff that's not true. That's the only way. And then punishing you if you say, no, men can't menstruate. Oh, you said something about cis non-gestating something. That's the only way any of this crap exists. They're forcing you. They're forcing you to not use certain words. New York just passed a law. You cannot use mommy and daddy. Can't use mother and father. Well, what the hell are they? Non-gestating parent and gestating parent. No, that's a mom. That's a dad. That's a grandma. That's a granddad. That's an aunt. That's an uncle. How do I know the difference? Because it's pretty much simple. I'm not stupid.
It's a yes or no question, please. Time is running out.
Can we stick to the relevance of the bill?
It is relevant to the bill because your language here is about women or individuals who menstruate, and so I'm trying to understand who individuals are in this situation. This is an added expense to employers, and it's important, so we need to understand who or who will not have to be provided for in this. So the question is quite simple. Can men menstruate?
An individual with a uterus can menstruate.
So who are people who have uteruses? Do men have uteruses?
Let's just stick.
That's why the aliens haven't attacked yet. I'm convinced we have not had, an alien invasion because they've been monitoring us for a couple of years now. They're probably all set. They're probably ready to go in 2007. And somebody goes, hold up. Hold up. What's wrong? They just elected this dude named Obama. And his name ain't Obama. Okay, let's see what he does. And now they sit back and probably pop beers and eat some sort of alien popcorn going, it's on. What time's the show? Show starts at about 8 o'clock. We're going to have these people who can't even, maybe this is supposed to be this way. Maybe it's supposed to screw up the aliens. So the aliens are like, wait a minute, which one? Are we doing butt probes anymore? Which ones do we? Oh, they like the butt probes now. Oh, damn, what do we do? They're going to be bending over and being happy that they get the butt probes. Who gets the butt probes? The non-gestating one. No, the gestating one.
The relevance of the bill. So if there is a construction site with 10 or more workers and one woman, a restroom that is sanitary and appropriate and includes supplies that can be used by that individual, is required to be on the construction site.
And I'm running out of time. Let me just close with this final question. When an individual goes in for gender reassignment surgery, how many choices do they have?
I don't see how that's relevant to this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's evident that there is no clear answers. This is an added expense. This will drive employers out of the state. I urge everyone in this chamber to vote no. Thank you.
Everybody should vote no. Just vote no in life. No, we're not playing this crazy cosplay game, this Halloween insanity that goes on 24/7, 365 days a year. No, the one who menstruates is the woman. That's it. That's the end of story. Let's not play their games anymore. That's the only way we solve this stuff, is let them act confused. What do I say here? Because here's what they're going for. They're going for a time in the future where that would be an easy answer. The one with the uterus. Well, what do you call the one with the uterus? It's going to be fluid. We will all be programmed that you can, hopefully I won't be here then, but we'll be all programmed that you cannot call that person a woman. It is the uterus holder. And the poor people like us who have regular relations, they're like, what do you mean? That's a woman. Oh, you said woman. Oh my gosh. It's insane. And I have a bonus one for you. I was done, but I do have a bonus clip for you, because this bonus clip just shows you how freaking insane, and I'm sorry, some of you ladies, but this woman is complete. She's so crazy, she's trying to make you feel crazy for not understanding what she says, which is part of their whole spin. You're the crazy one. You don't know who has a uterus, and you don't know what makes for cheaper housing.
The idea of blaming our housing crisis on immigration is absolutely wild to me, actually.
That says more about you, because we've got an extra 10, 20 million people come in the country.
Do you think that if we...
an extra 10 million people is going to have an effect on housing?
Do you think that if we lock down our borders, we're going to solve the housing crisis?
Yes, it's simple math, but she looks at you like you're the crazy one, because that's where they're taking you. What do you mean? What do y'all mean? She's in London or England someplace, and they're like, if we stop bringing these people in, we're going to solve the housing crisis. How do you do that? Well, if you got 10 million people who no longer need housing, then guess what? There'll be a lot of empty houses. Are you trying to tell me that if we stop immigration, that we would get more housing? Yeah, honey, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
The thing is, the more people you have in a country, the more houses you're going to need. I know it might sound...
He's really good at explaining things like
this, isn't he? They want you to feel crazy. Their objective is to make you feel crazy for talking common sense. And you can see her face and how she's trying to, but the audience is like, yeah, it's pretty simple. If you get rid of all these people, there's going to be a lot of empty apartments. A lot of empty apartments means there's the supply and demand, price goes cheaper. You're meaning to say if we lock down the borders, we might have some better house. Yes, but you're the stupid one for thinking that. That's why she looked that way. That's what they're trying to do. They want you to feel like you're stupid. What do you mean, who menstruates? You're the dumb one. I get it. I understand. Boys play women's sports. Pretty soon it won't be women's sports. It'll just be sports. That's it. Anybody can play anything you want. You're not successful being, on the guys' basketball team. Go play on the girls. You don't know who menstruates? You will soon. The person with the uterus. You mean a woman? No, not a woman. The gestating person. What happens when she's no longer gestating? Well, then it's a non-gestating person. It's insane.